There are healers on this planet with the power to soften the suffering of mankind, yet they have remained in the recesses of the world, abused, discarded, and labeled as trash. This is The Touch of a Mustang. I am your host, Shalise Clough, and I'm here to tell the story of wild horses, Mustangs, and the humans who are discovering and sharing their gifts while working to protect their well-being and preserve their spirit, so this divine power won't be lost. Join us on this quest with the Wild Mustang. Ann Souders is the Outreach and Education Director of Forever Branded, a foundation she and her husband began in 2023. For over 14 years, Ann has worked to help place wild horses and burros in private homes. Ann is passionate about advocating for wild horses and finding solutions to ensure that each Mustang has a good life. Ann works with Forever Branded to educate communities around the nation about wild horses and how we can best help them thrive. Ann, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to talk with you about Mustangs. You've been involved with Mustangs a long time. How did you kind of get started with wild horses?
Well, of course, I was that little girl that grew up on Saturday mornings watching My Friend Flicka and Fury and Black Beauty and all those great shows. And I lived in the Midwest and always loved horses. My parents said I was the only one out of my brother and sister and I that seemed to, just from the time I was very tiny and couldn't even talk, they could tell that I loved horses and wanted to be around them. I was that young girl that always wanted a horse so bad and always longed for that. My parents used to say when we drive by pastures, I would see a horse and I would cry out for it. And so once I had a pony and then I had a horse growing up and rode all over with my neighbor friends, and a great way to grow up in the Midwest, having a horse with friends. And
yeah, for sure.
Then after I got married and had kids, things changed, but we moved to an equestrian neighborhood. And all those feelings came flooded back. And then we went to a really amazing event down in Fort Worth in 2007 that had Mustangs. And so it really brought all those juices back. And I not only loved watching it, I really wanted to do it. And what's kind of amazing here is I was part of a foundation that was really more of an activist foundation to try to help keep wild horses free, not gather them and let them stay in the wild all the time. And I look back now, and it's just because I didn't know better. We fantasize what it's like out there in the wild, and that's what I'd always done.
Yeah.
And so my husband and I both participated in this Extreme Mustang Makeover, and I got bit by the bug big time. And my judge for that competition was an amazing horseman by the name of Ken McNabb. And Ken came to me during that weekend and said he'd heard that I was really an activist and didn't want the horses gathered. And did I really know what the complications were and the concerns with America's Mustang out in the wild? And I thought I did, but after talking with Ken for a couple hours and hearing the truth about wild horses, how they're overpopulated, they're on desert-type land that doesn't sustain good vegetation and water, it really worried me, concerned me, and so I went home and had a lot of thinking to do. And I'm very grateful for Ken. I laugh and say he brought me from the dark side. But he educated me about America's Mustangs. And don't get me wrong, I always want there to be America's Mustangs out in the wild. But most important, I want them taken care of. I want them fed and to have, vegetation and water. And although they're on over 27 million acres of government land, and they are protected in that land is not really sustainable for wild horses. And that's what the concern is. Not only that, they double in size every 4 years. And if we don't help get them into good homes, one, they're not going to have healthy situations out there in the wild on range. And two, there's a lot of people going to miss out on having the blessing of a wild Mustang. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I started. And then I went to work for the organization. And now I'm very proud to say we've opened up Forever Branded and started a new foundation. And we're creating and fostering a community through education and engagement and adoption, one wild horse and burro at a time.
Yeah.
So,
That's really neat. What were some of the things, because you said you were kind of on the activist side, and
yes,
I'll be honest, from the outside, it's hard to know,
it is.
that I think both sides bring up good points. I've
Yes.
always had really positive interactions with the BLM, but then you see some of the things that happen during roundups and things, or
Mm-hmm.
hear different stories or different angles on it. And it can be tricky to navigate and I guess for myself, I'm kind of on neither side. Like you a lot. I just want the horses
Yes.
protected, taken care of, always to have them. And also, I definitely know the benefit that they can be in an individual's life. They've absolutely changed my life, which I'm so grateful for. So, what do you think are some of the misconceptions out there, and what really caused you to change your view a little bit that at least some gathers
Yes.
do seem necessary?
Well, they do. And I will tell you, because of what I've done for a living and being the spokesperson for a while for the America's Mustang, I've got to go out in the wild and see for myself. And
Yeah.
I will tell you this, I laugh about this and tell people all the time. I could take my three Mustangs, take them out to
Hmm.
Salt Wells and Divide Basin, where they came from in southwest Wyoming, and I can turn them out. And I have an idea they would run around and buck and toot and carry on and just run. But I guarantee you, come 6 o'clock, they're looking for me. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, where's my dinner? Because
Yeah.
there's nothing to eat out here. And I didn't realize that before. I just wanted him to
Yeah.
be free. And, we see pictures of wild Mustangs out in the grass and drinking at a pond or a lake or something. And that's very unrealistic because they're in desert type situations. In fact, my horse, Shakoba, I adopted in 2015 from the checkerboard gather in southwest Wyoming. It took over 40 acres to feed one horse in that region.
Yeah.
We don't think about that. And when I go to speak to places and talk to people about wild horses, I tell them, do you live in town with a privacy fence? Yeah. Well, you take 3 or 4 horses and you put it in your backyard in your privacy fence and you don't feed or give it water. That's what it's like out there for them. Because no matter how
Yeah.
far they go, they're not finding it. And do I always want them in the wild? Oh, absolutely. Because I love going out there and watching them.
Yeah.
But I also want them healthy. So that's that's where I understood, and Ken really helped teach me a lot and educated me. So that's what I'm trying to do for everybody else. Um, it would be great if we had wild horses in Tennessee or Kentucky. We wouldn't have to worry about vegetation.
Yeah.
Then the
We need
only
to open up some areas
yeah,
over there.
then the only problem would be they'd probably all be too fat. But
Right.
they're not in Tennessee or Kentucky. They're out in the
Yeah.
West. And so those lands cannot sustain 80,000 wild horses in the wild and safely. It can't sustain it safely. So that's why the government gathers and not anything is done perfectly. We love to
Yeah.
see changes and things happen maybe more safely but it's done as well as we can possibly do at this time. And that's what we're trying to do. You and I together and helping people hear these and get educated and know. Let's come
Yeah.
up with a plan. Let's come up with something better. Let's do it one wild horse and burro at a time to make this better. Because just adopting them out is not going to be enough to get the job done. We've got to manage them better in other ways too. So if we all work together, and actually what my heart would really love to do is all the sides come together and agree to disagree to
Yeah.
do what's best for the horse. I
Yeah.
I talk to people all the time. I speak at different areas, and I never try to go in there and change people's mind because I know what I was like. Now, I sat down and listened to Ken McNabb because he was Ken McNabb and he was
Yeah.
giving me his time. And I
Mhm.
know him personally, and I know what a wonderful person he is. I knew he was telling me the truth.
Yeah.
So, what I try to do now is I go in, I tell my story, I educate them the best I can with what I've seen and what I know and what I've been around, and let them make their own decision. Because some people, you can't change their mind.
Yeah.
They're pretty stuck in the way they are. And I also let people know I have Mustangs. I've adopted them.
Yeah.
And many of the people on the activist side, I would say the majority of them, don't have horses at all.
Yeah.
So um, that's my goal in what we do. I love people. I love these wild horses. I love what they do
Yeah.
to us. So my prayer is that I can help us all come together and try to do what's best for the Mustang and agree to disagree, put our differences aside, and all of us come together and say, what can we do? What can we do?
Yeah.
I'm out there for the adopter. I'm out there for the trainer. But I would probably say 98% of all the people are never going to go adopt a wild horse. And I want them too. I want to educate them and bring them in this amazing community, this amazing Mustang family we have that has a passion for these wild horses that played such a key role in our history and that's changing our lives.
Yeah. And I think on the activist side or on the BLM side, I guess would maybe be the other side. I think there's a lot of people who have really felt that with the Mustangs,
Mm-hmm.
just that they do change
Yes,
your life. There is something really special about them.
yes,
You know, I 100% agree. If both sides could come together, then I think it would be easier to find workable, good solutions that ultimately benefit the horse and, you know, also benefit the people, whether you're seeing the horses in the wild or getting to bring one into your
yes.
home.
Well,
What do you think are,
I,
go ahead.
I tell people all the time, I love all horses. We have a quarter horse.
Yeah.
I love her. We've had her since she was a year old. But I'm telling you, there's something very special about that first touch that you earn with a wild horse. I can't even put it into words. I mean, you have to drop everything about yourself. That horse could not care about what your title is, what kind of car you drive, whether you've been in a war, whether you've had a great family life, what kind of job you have, how much money you make. They could care less. All they want to know is what you're bringing to them and that you strip everything down and you are honest enough to earn their trust. And oh my gosh, getting that first touch on a wild horse, just pretty
Yeah,
amazing.
it is very amazing to me. I was just thinking today, so I have three Mustangs, and how incredible it is that, you know, they come and want to spend time with me and have life with me. And a lot of that is because of the time and energy that's put into them.
Yes,
But for me, a lot of it's also because the experience with them changed me and who I am as a person and how I approach things with them and in life.
yes,
Have you seen that with horses as well, that they can help people
abs-
to change?
absolutely. And I also appreciate the fact that mine keep me honest. Um,
Yeah.
they, when we first started doing the Mustangs, a real famous trainer that I met from the very first one in 2007, Abel Garcia, when I picked my horse up for 2008, he said, "Now, Ann, when you go out every morning to work with that Mustang, she knows the mood you're in by the way you shut the door on the house." And oh my goodness, is that ever true? They know inside you, and they keep you honest. And I I've had friends come out that are fighting cancer, or that are having traumatic issues going on in their life, and they're like, we hear you talk about your horses. Can I just come out? I'm like, absolutely. Come on out. And they come out, and for a few minutes, you drop everything you've worried about. I give them some treats, a little bit of alfalfa, and they get to have that first touch with the horse and quit thinking about themselves. And kind of a good lesson for us all to learn from a Mustang, to quit thinking so much about ourselves, think about everything. And something else I will tell you, that Shakoba, my Mustang from Divide Basin I got in 2015, it took me 8 months to halter him. Now, he was 3 when I picked him up, and I'm not really a trainer. I just am a gentler and worked with him. And I didn't have a timetable. He wasn't for an event. I was blessed that many of the Mustang family know that my heart is spotted and I love appies. And when he got gathered, I started getting pictures of him. And so my husband and I flew out to Salt Lake City and drove to Rock Springs and adopted him in 2015 at the adoption and had him hauled home. So I have a dear friend named Mary Kitzmiller, who's a pretty phenomenal horse trainer. And Mary taught me clicker training. And she said, he's 3 and I want you to be safe. So she came over and taught me clicker training. And I will tell you, it really helped me and Jacoba a lot. But not only that, it helped me learn so many things, because when you do clicker training, it's on rewards. It's based on rewards. And from the beginning, Mary told me, you don't reward his good behavior. In the beginning, you reward the try.
Yeah, 100%.
When he tries. And that was life-changing for me. And I would go in at night and think, oh my gosh, did I do this for my kids growing up?
Yeah.
Did I reward the try? I mean, I was working so hard at this 3-year-old Mustang, and I was working full-time in town and also working for this other Mustang organization. I would get up at 4:30 in the morning and go out so I could work with him before I left for work.
Oh, wow.
And was adamant about rewarding that try, and it paid off so successfully. But I thought, what a lesson in life for us all. If all of us treated each other by rewarding our try.
Yeah.
And what we do. And he still teaches me things every day. And I'm grateful for that. But wild horses just do that. They're very intuitive, and they notice everything.
Yeah, I can relate to that a lot. They've definitely taught me a lot of lessons, and most of the lessons, they're out in the horse corral or on the trail, but then I'm like, this has a lot of application to life as well, and how we interact with people, how we treat ourselves, just all those different things. And I have to tell you, I love that you're sharing that it took you 8 months to get a halter on, because when I started with my Mustang, that was like I wish I would have known better then, but I felt so inadequate because I would see people do stuff so quickly.
Yes.
And interestingly, my first Mustang's also from Divide Basin. I'm thinking the same roundup. I'm pretty sure it was the checkerboard. So, but things didn't go fast with her. Part of that was her getting used to things. Part of that was me learning.
Yeah.
And I think they do benefit a lot from a different approach, because they are coming in with a different worldview than the domestic horse and a lot of the traditional horse training, where things like clicker training, I also used, positive rewards and stuff. And that was something that changed my world also.
Yes, yeah. Mustangs really react great to clicker training. And I will tell you, Mary Kitzmiller has a marvelous DVD out about it that every time I get one from her, I seem to give it away to people to help them out. But it helps
that is a good
so
sign.
many ways. It really has worked great for me. And I I tend to notice me working that a little bit with people in ways.
Yeah.
So it does
Yeah.
help.
Well, and I think it's interesting because there's definitely differing opinions about using food in
Yep.
the horse world.
Yep.
But any other situation, food is such a central part of connection,
Mhm.
whether it's with people or, a lot of other animals, dogs, birds that you're training.
Yeah.
It's almost never questioned, but it's definitely something that was super helpful for me. And when I started realizing, hey, this is okay, this is a way we can connect, it's a way we can communicate, and it's a way that makes it enjoyable for them to be with
Yes.
us also. So,
Yes. Yes. And they learn manners. They they have to learn manners by doing it. Now, I have an extreme curly. He's not near as mannerly with it as Jacoby is.
yeah.
So I don't do it as much with him, but it's his personality.
Yeah.
And that really taught me a lot too, to learn because they're just like us. They're all different. So,
Yeah, they absolutely are.
yes.
Get a lot of personalities coming in.
Yes. Yeah. And I will tell you, I'm very blessed. My curly Comanche, I got to see him in
Yeah.
the wild as a weanling and then as a
Mm,
yearling, never dreaming that I would bring him home. I got to see him
yeah.
with his herd, and I have a
Wow.
lot of pictures on my Facebook page of him, and followed his family and his herd for years, and watched them. And they're all over my wall in the house. And I have a dear friend in Rock Springs, Pat Doak, who takes me out there whenever I go out there, and going out there and being with them is great therapy for me. I
Oh,
love
I
doing
bet.
that and seeing them. And I have a wild heart horse out there. His picture is right behind me. He's our backdrop for Forever Branded. And
Oh, very
his
cool.
name is Rocket. He's a curly stallion in Salt Wells. And he he's quite an amazing horse. He's had the same mares for years. He even got gathered. And when they returned him back to the wild, he got one of his same mares back. I
Hmm.
thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is really interesting.
Yes. So, yes, we can learn a lot from them, I'll tell you.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think some of the barriers are to things going better with the Mustangs? Whether it's our understanding of their circumstances in the wild or even coming into the human element and having a successful adoption.
Well, I would
What are some of
say
the challenges we're facing?
the main challenge is people aren't educated. They don't know the truth. They don't know what's really going on. And I will tell you, when I go out and speak at places, there's lots of people don't even know there's wild horses in America,
Yeah.
let alone that they're overpopulated. In some areas of our country, they're overpopulated 512% in their HMAs.
And so, what are some of the risks of overpopulation?
Well, the main risk is vegetation and water. There is
Mm-hmm.
none. And then, you
Yeah.
get herds in type areas, and we're expanding. America is expanding. And so a lot of the regions where horses are, I know I've seen complaints in the Nevada area because Nevada has the most wild horses. And then they're starting to find food. They're seeping into the neighborhoods, and people don't want
Yeah.
that. But I would say
Yeah.
education is number one. I would say number two, all of us that love wild horses, we've got to quit thinking about ourselves. We got to think about what's best for them, and we've got to agree to disagree, to come together and be civil and be kind. I can't tell you how I've been treated at events where I've been by people who are
Yeah.
wanting to save wild horses. It's embarrassing to see people act that way. And
Yeah. Where do you think that disconnect comes from? That is it, do all these people have good intentions? Are there bad agendas out there, people that are taking advantage of the wild horses on either side? Why do you think it's so difficult for I assume a lot of these people that are spending time talking about going to events for wild horses, I would assume that they all do care about these animals. What do you see as the disconnect to not coming together?
um, I think, I think number one is the education, and two,
Yeah.
now that we have all these foundations, I I really truly think money plays a role in that. I mean, we're in America, for Pete's
Yeah.
sake. So what makes the world go round here? See, and I tell people often, if you get on a site and they're wanting you to donate, be careful what you do. If it says donate, donate, give, and not volunteer and adopt and
Yeah.
learn, there's something to that. And I would hope that all of the Mustang foundations started out for the right reasons, but
Right.
the Bible didn't say money was evil. It said the love of it. And
Yeah.
I will tell you, a lot of these associations make hundreds of thousands of dollars from people sending in money to keep the wild horses free. And
Yeah.
the one thing I have learned, freedom has many faces. And my 3 that live here in Paradise, Texas, they're just about as free as you can get. Because if we're late getting home, we hear about it. I laugh and tell
Yeah.
people they must wear a Timex. And,
Yeah.
we go out about 10 o'clock and give carrots. And if they see the kitchen light go on and it's after 10 o'clock, I'm hearing them in the barn reminding me,
Right.
hey, carrot time, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Don't forget about us.
yes.
Yeah.
And they're safe. They're well taken care
Yeah.
of. If they're sick, they get help and they get
Yeah.
plenty to eat.
And I
So,
agree. There definitely is some misconception that everything in the wild is beautiful
mhm,
and amazing. But there is a beauty to the horses being wild. Like, I
yes,
hope that we never, I hope wild horses are always part of America and
me
part of
too.
our story.
Me too.
But there is also a harshness to the wild.
Yes.
Whether it's knowing that all winter they're struggling for food
Yes.
or not having access to what they need. And so I do think that's really important to remember, that it is a difficult life out there. So they have that freedom, and it's good to consider, how do we balance that
Right.
between them having food and them having a level of freedom. And I think
Yes.
there are a lot of people working to achieve that with horses. You talked about some of the organizations that help wild horses, and I've talked to some who are doing really cool things where they are, providing sanctuary for the horses,
Yes.
but they're also opening that up to the public to be able to experience the horses.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, they provide a service to the horses. They're able to take care of the horses without just donations. So I definitely think there's solutions out
Yes.
there where we can do better than what's being done right now on
Yes.
all levels.
Yes. And also, something people forget about, it's just not wild horses out there. There's a lot of wildlife out there, and they're all fighting for that grass and vegetation and water. So that's something to think about.
Yeah, that is interesting. Do you think so I hear a lot on the activist side that there's a lack of transparency from the BLM in what's happening. Is that something they can do better? And is that also the case on the other side with sanctuaries and other places that are saying that they're helping wild horses?
Well, I think it's always a possibility. Like I said before, I think everybody goes into this meaning well, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not cheap to do all this.
No.
It's costly. And so that always plays into a factor. I think we can all do better. But I think many of these sanctuaries are doing the best they can. They're trying, working hard at it. I think the BLM is the same. I mean, you have people working for the government across the land trying to do their best to work. I've worked with many of them. I've seen their hearts and what they're doing, and they're earnest. Can it be better? Probably. But that's what you and I are here for, to help with.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
right now we're trying to do the best we can for what it is. And we always have to keep people accountable. Always. Myself included. And I just told somebody else last night about another organization. I said, well, actually, it's really not about me, and it's not about them. It's about what we can do for America's Mustang. That's the most important.
Yeah.
And if us coming together and working with them is going to make it better, then by Job, that's what we got to do.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. And I think, we're all human. Ego definitely can get involved. It
mm-hmm.
can become, part of our who we are if we're heavily involved in a cause. But it's always a good reminder to come back to just, we want what's best for the horses
Yes.
and the best case scenario for them.
Yes. And I've had, when I've been in places and speaking, I tell my story. I tell the truth. I do the very best I can to um, not only shine the light on the Mustangs, but who I am as a person so they can believe me and know who I am. And sometimes you just have to walk away.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can tell that people are not going to listen to me, right or wrong. And so I just maybe shake their hand or introduce myself and then move on to what
Yeah.
I can do best to help somebody. And
Right. That's definitely a lesson I've learned from Mustangs is that the more we can keep an open mind, the better we
mm-hmm.
can do. A lot of times we go in thinking we know all the answers.
Yeah.
I know that's how I started. When I first got my Mustang, I thought, I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I can figure this out. And it wasn't working. But one of the greatest benefits was to be able to open up your mind and to learn from the horses
Yes.
and to learn from other people. And I think anybody who is really open to that can see that the BLM is full of a lot of good people. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everyone I've talked to has always been interested in the horses, wanted them to be cared for well. I think we need to acknowledge they are a government organization. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to work under a government organization. It's just
Absolutely.
not probably set up ideal, but it is what we have.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, I do believe that the people who are sharing about horses in the wild, I think that's a beautiful thing and service, and that they also truly do care about the horses. And so, I just totally agree with you 100%. My hope would be like, let's put down thinking that we have to be right and
Mm-hmm.
see where we can come to an agreement
Yes.
to make everything better. Because I don't know that it's helpful just raising trouble.
Yes. I agree. And actually, that's what the horses have done for us. People come in and say, well, you're saving all these horses. I said, well, actually, I don't look at it as a rescue and saving. And to be honest, they're saving us.
Yeah.
I see it over and over and over what they have done for people. And
Yeah.
it's truly amazing. It's a miracle, really, in a
Do
lot
you
of
have any
situations.
do you have any especially powerful stories about how the Mustangs have helped people?
Well, I do. Um, at one of our events that we did in Kentucky, one of the makeovers, we had a young man, and I would say he was probably about 8 or 9, and he was a really special young man. And he had been, when he was born, he had a lack of oxygen for a little bit of time. And so he struggled at learning. And his mother told me when we got to the event and I got to meet them, his mother came and gave me a huge hug. And I'd talked to her many times on the phone, many. And she said, I can't tell you what this little colt has done for him. He was on suicide watch. His teacher at school was bullying him. And we had to pull him out. And one of the magazines he was reading, he saw this event coming to Lexington and wanted to do it. And we thought, well, sure, we'll give it a try. And then she told us how they got involved in it. He came, he picked his horse out. Captain Jack Spratt was his name. And he brought him to the event. And she said, the first night we brought him home, I went in and checked on everybody before I went to bed, and the young man was not in his bed. And when she went outside, he was asleep in the stall with his yearling.
Aww.
And that was probably 5, 6 years ago. He's still doing horses and they've truly changed his life.
Yeah.
And I hear stories about that all the time, how they do things for horses. I mean, a very popular gentleman is Bobby Kerr. He was the PRCA Entertainer of the Year multiple years, and again this year for the NFR, and crosses the country with his Mustangs doing amazing things. And Bobby was just about to lose everything and decided to take a chance on a wild horse at an event in Fort Worth and won it. And now look at him. Him and his Mustangs are crossing the country sharing about what Mustangs can do for him and for people and how well trained they are and what you can do with a wild horse. And wow, doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, that is incredible. And that first story, yeah, I just got chills. I really think that if we could integrate Mustangs more into our mental health system, it would
Absolutely.
be such a win-win.
Yes.
I love seeing programs like, the Wild Horse Inmate Program, and I know there's lots of people that are working towards doing different types of therapy with them.
Yes.
And I don't even know that we need to do much other than provide the opportunity for people to be with the horses because they just do so much.
Yes.
Just their presence and their essence.
You're right. You're right. I get to see that all the time, and I'm very blessed. And trust me, I don't take this lightly because it's important work what we do. We live in a really tough time in life, and there's lots of struggles. And you and I get to share the story of the Mustang with people. Now, that's a pretty positive, amazing story. And I'm very blessed. I'm grateful that God blessed me with this position and to be able to do this and share my heart and my horses with people and tell their story. And I truly believe that there's a window out there opening, and we're going to get to walk through it and do more and more and more because we're wanting to. We're striving for that. And with Forever Branded that we've started with helping with the community and raising awareness to people, we want to involve everybody, not just the trainers, not the adopters, but the youth, the veterans, the mental health, everybody. We want them to be able, I want everybody to be able to have this blessing like me because it's really changed my life.
Yeah, same. So talk a little bit about, you said you've gotten a lot of the wild horses into private care. That's something you worked on for a long time. Talk a little bit about that. What makes for a successful adoption, and what are maybe some of the barriers that we're facing to have this happen more, where a horse can successfully go and, have a home like yours where they're taken care of, they're loved, the relationship's reciprocal and beneficial for both sides?
Okay. I think probably the biggest obstacle is when you get a wild Mustang, you have to have a certain type of property for it. You need a 6-foot fence if you get an adult Mustang, and have to have the means to be able to keep it. And many places, if you live in town and you don't have your own farm or ranch or place to hold a horse, many boarding facilities will not have that available for them. But where there's a will, there's a way. I've seen it happen for people who really want to do it and try to work towards that. That's one of the biggest obstacles. The Mustang family is just phenomenal because they're everywhere. And if you reach out, they're going to help you because this is not about money. This is about helping something that we're passionate about. And so I've seen so many people get help from other trainers. I mean, you just put the word out. I get calls every day. Yesterday, someone called me and said, I have a good friend that just bought a ranch and they're looking for 2 burros. Do you? I said, I do. I know somebody that has 2 burros, and I'm going to put you in touch with them. And before you know it, one person's talking to another person because we want to help them. And so you don't have to be a trainer to adopt a wild horse. You do have to have the facility and that place to put them. But we got enough people around to help you, and they're all across the country now.
Yeah.
That they can help you.
And I would say, if you're getting one, get ready to be a trainer. Like, you need to gain those skills, and it'll be the best experience of your life.
Yes. And it can teach you so many things, not just horse training.
Right.
So, yes. So, and it used to be that we thought all horses had to be ridden. Well, now we're seeing all the amazing things happen with Liberty and the connection you can have with your horse through that. So I have a lot of friends that are my age. They want to get a wild horse, but now that we're more in the vintage years, I'll say, they
I
don't
love that.
really want to ride a horse that's
Yeah.
fresh and green right off. So
Yeah.
this work with Liberty, and Mustangs do it so well. They're so great at that. And we have a lot of good friends, a lot of forever branded people. Hannah Catalina is one of the ones that I just love to watch with her touch and reaction with the Mustangs and teaching people Liberty. And now there's a Liberty Association out there, and Mustangs are welcome there to be a part of it. And so now you can adopt a horse and you don't have to worry about training it to be ridden right off. You can make that connection, and oh my goodness, that connection
And I
we
would
make,
say,
it's priceless.
Yeah, I would say like one of the greatest benefits I found is not even doing anything with my horses. My husband will joke because he'll say like I'm taking my horse on a walk or that they're just pets sitting there. But honestly, I can just go out there during the day and just be with them. And there's still something good there.
Yes.
So it's not some beautiful trail ride, which I love those also.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, even they don't even have to dance for you or
Nope.
obey commands necessarily. Just to be with them is incredible.
Yes, it is. And my husband laughs. He says I tailgate all the time now. I'm the last one to leave church. I'm the last one to leave a dinner party. Guess what we're talking about? We're talking about Mustangs.
Yeah.
Because everywhere I go, even at the bank, and when I go in there, they're wanting to know, do you have any new pictures? Do you have anything we can see? I love it when they ask. I recently had to go to the dentist, and I hadn't been there for a few months, and they're like, have you been out in the wild? Do you have any new pictures of going out there? I love it that everybody wants to know about it, and everybody gets excited, and you get to pass that on to other people.
Yeah, that is awesome. And just if everybody who has experienced Mustangs, if we all are doing that, it will spread even more and just
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It does.
Have you seen horses get adopted and it not go well?
I have. And that's where the community comes in together because they all help. And I will tell you, not all Mustangs that are gathered are adoptable.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just like us. You have stinkers. You have really good ones. You have tender-hearted ones. You have ornery ones.
Yeah.
And so I've seen some that had to go back and go in long-term holding. And that's okay. Because I think they're doing what's best for the horse and themselves. And it just what's happened. And I will tell you, I've been to several long-term holding facilities. Whew,
Yeah.
that's like horse heaven. When I was on the dark side, I used to think that was a terrible place to go. And after visiting them,
talked about.
it's not. Yeah, it's just thousands of acres. They're turned out loose and they live out their life. Well, they get to live out their life in these beautiful grass pastures and taken care of, and they're fed. And so I was really, I had no idea what long-term was. And in the beginning, I was against it till I was there and saw them. Like, holy cow, this is horse heaven. So, yeah.
You know, and I think that's great advice for anyone who's wondering about Mustangs or wondering if they are being taken care of and how things are going for them. And I'll be the first to admit, like, I don't think it's perfect. We see Mustangs in kill pens and not ideal situations. But if you really want to know, find someone who has a Mustang and just ask if you can go check them out. Because
and I will tell
there's
you
nothing
this,
like being with them.
Yeah, I will tell you this too. I get messages every week about Mustangs and kill pens. That's from the people that have the bad agenda, that have adopted for the wrong reasons, or that don't have the passion and the love of the America's Mustang like we have. And sadly, we got them. But someone sent that horse to me. So people are looking out for them.
Yeah.
And I just pray we just get more and more of us on the positive, good side. and help weed out all the stinkers. So,
Yeah. And the more I talk to people, there are a lot of people out there that really do want the best, and they are coming up with
yes,
solutions for the problems.
yes,
And so it's exciting to see. It's exciting to see that people are finding a way
yes,
to help Mustangs, help people,
yes,
and to spread good information about them. And I definitely think, the more we can learn and be more open-minded, just the more
absolutely.
solutions that will present themselves. I've been blown away by what some people came up with because, for me, which I mentioned before, my horses have never made me any money.
Yes,
Like, I have worked to take care of them, and it's been worth it. They've given me lots of other things. But, people are finding ways where these Mustangs are able to
hmm,
give back and make it possible for them to take more and help more and help people in the community at the same time.
absolutely.
So lots of good solutions out there. And the more we can spread the word and keep thinking outside the box, I think they will just keep coming.
And we will. A few years ago, we had our educational trailer at the FFA National Convention in Indianapolis.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids that are our future were learning about wild horses. And I just kept praying, okay, Lord, somewhere, somebody that's gone through this trailer and that is learning about these wild horses here today, they're going to come up with something really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting there. We're getting
Yeah.
there.
So what are some things that you think we can do right now to help wild horses? Like maybe just the average person listening to this, or, even Mustang owners. What more can we do for them?
Well, I would say come out to our events. Come do whatever you can. Get more educated. Be part of a foundation. You can reach us at Forever Branded at foreverbranded.org or on our Facebook page. Find out what we're doing. Get involved. Be part of our founding herd. Help get the word out to other people. Learn. We have amazing trainers. And I will tell you something else that's amazing. The youth that get involved with these Mustangs, holy cow. The youth trainers are fabulous. I mean, they're blowing people away with what they can do with a wild
Yeah.
horse. And it gets better every year. They get better and better and better and better. And I have got to see the youth grow up and do the events and then become adults and go to college and graduate. Now these kids are changing the world. And I love to think that some of the responsibility they learned with a wild horse and the compassion and the patience and the hard work and effort they learned and what it took to be responsible for this horse has helped them be a better human being and a better American, working every day, doing things with people. And they all kind of learned it from training a wild Mustang. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
100%. They are
Yeah.
full of good lessons for how
Yes,
to live.
they
Absolutely.
are. They are. And also, they take up your time. And sometimes when our kids have too much time on their hands, there's ornery things they can get involved in. And I very rarely see kids that are highly involved with Mustangs or rodeo or in the Western showcase world with their animals and livestock. They're all great kids because you learn great lessons working with all these animals. And so
Yeah.
that's just really something to be said for all of those parents that go the extra mile to help their kiddos do that. And I know that the parents behind all these kids that do these wild horses, I'm so proud of them letting their youth and their kids do this. They've just done phenomenal.
And so what are some of these events that you would recommend people check out?
Well, I know that next week we're Forever Branded is leaving for Denver for the Rocky Mountain Horse Expo. And there's going to be a Mustang Summit there with Equus Film Festival. And Forever Branded will be there. Some other Mustang groups will be there. We'll all get together to come and be part of this event. And hopefully that's one of the events we're all going to agree to disagree and get along, do what's best for the horses. You can go to many of the pages on Facebook that have to do with Mustangs. Find out about events that are going on. I know Mustang Champions are doing an event in Las Vegas and in Lexington. Mustang Heritage is doing an event in Franklin, Tennessee. We're doing a great event, Branded Bonanza, in June, the last week in June, north of Boise, and at the Horse Expo there. And we've got our Facebook page all about it. And anybody can come and adopt a wild horse and bring it and showcase it in that event. Youth, adults, seniors, anybody. We'd love to have anybody come and be part of it. So people can contact me on Facebook and Souders, and I'll help connect you with some of these groups, and we'll put you to work. We'll educate you and help you get in with the Mustangs, because I want them to do it for everybody what they've helped to do for me.
Yeah. And what are some of the things that they really helped you with? You talked a little bit about, rewarding the try. What are some other lessons you've learned from them?
Well, the family they've introduced me to. Now, when I first did this in 2008, I wanted to do it because I loved wild horses. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine having this extended family of all these people that I've grown to love, and they're part of my family now. And it's all because of the passion of the wild horses. And we talk about the Mustang family, and that's actually what Forever Branded's our mission statement is: creating and fostering community through education, engagement, and adoption, one wild horse and burro at a time. And that's actually what it's about. All these people that I've met, it's been wonderful. Besides the hard work and learning the training and the patience, the joy they've brought me, the complete joy. We forget to praise that enough. And just like you were talking about going to the barn, you and I have somewhat free therapy that we get at the barn.
Oh, 100%. There, absolutely.
I can bring it to them, and when I've had a bad day, and that is priceless. That is just priceless. I just notice in my everyday task of what I do and how I do it, it's made me a better person.
Yeah.
And I work hard at doing good things for them, which made me think, how hard have I worked doing good things for others and people? I've got to do the same all the way around. And I think they help us with that.
Yeah. And I think it's important, too, to see that horses enjoy being around us. I'm not sure why, but, I remember we have a neighbor who let us use some pasture one year, and I thought, I'm just going to take my horses out there, and they are just going to run off. They're going to be so happy. And I even have this video on Instagram, one of my first Instagram posts, and they didn't. They just hung around, and I kind of left down the road going out towards the pasture, and they came and followed me out there. We are giving them something. Again, I'm like, it's hard to know what it is. Obviously food. They do love their food.
Yes.
But I really think that there can be relationships that are good for the people and good for the horses.
There is.
And something beautiful both ways.
It is. It's pretty amazing. It's just full of joy. That's just what they bring, full joy. And I love all three of ours and love the differences in them and enjoying them and watching. And we actually have 4 horses. 3 of them are Mustangs, and they get along so good together.
Yeah.
I just love watching that. Yeah. That's one thing I love when I go out in the wild. I could just sit out there all day. I love watching their dynamics and how the herds mingle and how they are at the water hole and when they're grazing and watching their interactions. It's very interesting.
Yeah. I think it's neat to consider that we can have horses that are in the wild and we want to take care of them. And we can also have horses that come into our homes, and both sides can have a really beautiful life and provide really beautiful things for, people also, whether we're observing them in the wild or getting to ride them or just out there sitting next to them.
Yes, absolutely. I'm like you. I hope we always have wild horses in America. And I love going and watching them and seeing them. We want them safe and healthy, but I'm grateful that some were gathered and I got to bring them home to Paradise, Texas.
Yeah, I have to say the same. I don't know where I'd be without my Mustangs, so
Yeah.
I am grateful that they have gotten to come into my home also.
Yes. Yes.
Um, is there anything else you want us to know about your organization, how we can take advantage of it, how people can support you?
Well, we'd love you to come on board. We are out there for everybody. We want everybody involved. Even if you're never going to adopt a horse, we want you to be part of us. Come on and learn, enjoy, and have all this fun with us. We can hook you up with a trainer, or we can hook you up with a youth, and you can follow them and be part of their journey so that you get to come a part of that too, and have the successes and joys and watch the training going on. That's what's just so amazing, to get to see the difference and how it happens. And so we'd love you to come on and join us. We started in September of 23, and oh my goodness, we have just grown, and I'm so blessed. Everything has just gone so wonderful, and the best is yet to come.
Yeah, I love that. I think there's a lot of hope.
Yes.
There's a lot of good that's going to come out of the interaction that humans and wild horses have,
Yes.
and I'm excited to see where it goes and how many people are just doing amazing things with them. It was really cool to see, and even if you're just looking at it on an Instagram account or Facebook, just to see them, there's something incredibly neat about what the Mustangs do.
Yes, there is. And you could be a Bobby Kerr and crossing the nation with your horses and getting all kinds of awards and competing at rodeos, or you can just be an Ann and get to walk out to your pasture and see your wild horses
Yeah.
grazing and having them come to the fence. It's all pretty darn good.
Yeah, I do. I love that. There's something for everybody.
Yes.
I'm the same as you. I like being home and being
Yes.
with my horses, but who knows what the future will bring.
Absolutely.
What is a piece of advice you have for someone who might be struggling with a horse that they adopted, a Mustang, or maybe even just struggling in life in general? Do you have some advice to share?
Reach out. Give somebody else, give them the blessing of helping you, because they might have already been through that. Reach out to somebody. There's plenty of people that are there to help you, and we'd love to do that. I'd love to say that all of us are just great and have all the answers, but we don't. But all of us working together, we can get it done. And that's what it's all about. All of us coming together, just like we do for the Mustangs, for each other, to help. And there's plenty of places for you to do that. And if somebody can't find one, they can get in touch with me and I'll help you find somebody, because we want you to be successful. And I want them to have the blessing that you and I get to have by going to the barn and being with that wild horse.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree that there are so many great people to
Yes.
take advantage of, and a lot of us who have been there and been through the struggle. And excellent advice, and it seems like you're very readily available to direct people to a great place for them.
I am. People tell me that I'm the hyphen between the
Yeah.
horses and the people. And that's a pretty good place to be.
Yeah. Well, I'm so grateful you agreed to be here. I loved hearing about the work you're doing with wild horses and how you are helping spread the message about them. It's something that I feel so strongly about too, because of what they have done in my life. So I love seeing that you are out there, you're talking about it, you're sharing about the horses. And not only that, but you're a great resource for anybody who needs help, who wants to know more about them. And so thank you for doing the work that you do for the horses.
Well, thank you. And thank you so much for having me. And thank you for what you're doing. I can tell that you've opened a door for a lot of us Mustang people, and we are so grateful for that. So we really appreciate it. Now, see, you are forever branded, just like me.
Awesome. Yes, I'm in it.
Thank you for joining us and learning about horses that heal and the humans who help them. We hope you'll continue with us on this journey. We'd love for you to subscribe on your favorite platform and follow The Touch of a Mustang on any of the major social media outlets. Please share with your friends, anyone who loves horses, or anyone who might be struggling and could benefit from this message. If you have felt the healing power of horses, or help them in their divinely appointed mission, please reach out. We want to hear your story. As we say goodbye, always remember that the horse is always there to help you heal.